안녕하세요. 저는 루이입니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 리안입니다.
Look what I'm
Sorry.
wearing. That matches
네.
the mugs. I need a lean mug here. Wait.
I need a
Onk,
I've got
onk. A Loch Ness monster one. You're so Scottish.
and
You're so Scottish.
it's Bigfoot riding a Loch Ness monster.
That's so you.
It is. It's
That's
so
a gin.
random.
That's a gin shirt.
It
That is a
is.
gin shirt.
It's
My
just
shirt's really bright though. Look how bright it is. It's
it
like
is. It's
it's not
actually
this
cute.
bright in person. It's just normal red.
I
But
need
it's
to
like
buy one of our shirts, but I can't decide. We've got so many to pick from now that I can't actually pick what ones I want. There's like 10 I want now.
yeah. If you want to dig through the Lean and Loose merchandise we now have a YouTube store. We've been designing
We do.
stuff forever, like
Yeah.
since we started making children's books. So
Yeah.
we have so many
And
little
before.
characters.
I've had my Redbubble shop for about 7 years.
I know, yeah, you have. So, yeah, we're making more children's books, but yeah, we just enjoy playing with bears. Oh yeah, there's our books. Yay!
There we go.
That's
If
our one book we
anybody,
did.
if anyone
Our
wants
Korean,
to learn some Korean words with Lean and Lu, we have this book.
we do.
And if you want to read Lu's book,
Square Sam. It's about a kid with special needs who's in school.
it is. And it's a
So-
very cute book. And it was all illustrated by Louise Dom.
I did collage illustration in it. That came out
You
nicely.
did.
So
And then
I'm
our
very proud.
opposites book was illustrated by both of us. Put
Yeah.
together. So this was a joint effort learning Korean words with Lean and Lu. So if you want either of those, I'll put the links in the description.
Yes. Okay, getting onto the reaction, we're doing Jimin's Like Crazy. So, Lean, just a bit of background. Jimin wrote the song during the time of the pandemic. This is on his latest album release, but he wrote this at a time when he was going through like a tough time with being isolated with the pandemic, canceling their concerts, not knowing what was going to happen, and then also like feeling, what's the word? I guess like I think he got into like a little bit of a funk, and some of the other members were considering like intervening in some way. But yeah, this is basically like the context surrounding this song. So pay attention to the little details of what he's doing in the song.
Okay, dope. So this is just a Jimin song then.
This is just a solo Jimin song from his latest album.
Okay, dope. Let's get to it.
Because we've reacted to like we tried to react to all the solo stuff, but like give each member a chance. So we're going back forth between members. So yeah, so today's Jimin Day. So
Okay.
I think we could last forever.
Actually, I think it's in English.
Disappear.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Just trust me.
She's saying, baby, 생각하지 마. There's not a bad thing here tonight. And baby, 떠나도 좋아. 있어, 전에까지만. Watch me go. 날 적셔 밤새도록. away. 아침도 취했어 오지 않게. 시키던 음악 속에 희미해지나. Drama got the bonus story 익숙해져가. 내가 알던 나를 찾기 멀리 온 것 같게. I know, you know, I know.
I was just pausing anyway. It definitely reads like someone having a hard time already. Someone going through that, when you go through that wild phase where you don't really want to face that you're having a hard time, you think you can make yourself feel better by acting out and drinking and partying and surrounding yourself with people, and you're really just masking the issue.
Yeah, especially when you're like, I know, like thinking back to the days when I used to go clubbing and stuff, is you kind of like feel lonely in a crowd, sometimes, you're surrounded by people, but you just want to go home or escape or be somewhere where you just don't feel like you belong, especially when you've just had like either a breakup or, you're in a situation where you're just not happy with something in life. And you just...
I like the imagery in the first part. See, when he's sitting in the apartment and the floor is like a mess and dirty and it's
muddy.
like under his feet, it's like everything looks fine on the surface, but he's standing on like the muddy sinking sand. Like he's standing on like dirt and chaos.
Yeah. I also
Very-
like the 80s feel to the song as well. It's like a pop, synth poppy 80s feel vibe. I love that. But I like bands like Churches, which is a Scottish band, and I like that twist to it as well. That like synth poppy 80s vibe to it. It always attracts me.
I know who Churches are, but you like them more than I do.
I do. I love them. I'm always playing them every day. Oh, I'm like kicking my computer while I'm talking.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I'd rather be lost in the light, lost in the light. I'm out of my mind. Hey, baby, could you jump out your mind? You spin me up high, no permanent fly. And let me have a taste. Give me a good ride. I'm fun. Always gonna be a good night. I'm fun. Forever you.
He is such a like Libra. Can I say that? Like he's so, I don't know, like I think like if you ever had to meet him in real life, like he'd be such a warm, like flirty, happy-go-lucky, carefree kind of personality. I mean, obviously he's got a serious side to him, but it's very attractive quality that he has.
If out of all of them, Jimin's definitely the one that it doesn't surprise me that this is kind of a love song. Like it's about romance. It kind of, he suits that vibe. He suits singing about broken hearts and love and all that kind of stuff. He's really good at it.
He is. I think though the song is not so much about romance, but about like mental health in lots of ways.
But then there's also, it can be taken from it that he's talking about a girl and holding on to a toxic relationship where it's okay when it's feeling good for the night, but then she's got up and leave him in the morning again.
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all been there. Holding on to the good moments and not wanting to think about the tomorrow because you know that dumbass is just going to go stray, but you just try and ignore it and you're like, no, it's fine for right now.
Yeah, I'm just live in the moment.
In the moment. Funny, this music video is so relatable though. I went through an entire phase of I could be Jimin in this video. That was my behavior completely. When I was going through a very rocky on off with the dude that I was dating in my 20s, and I was wild. Like I was going out getting drunk, partying, not giving a crap, and every time he showed up you kind of fall for it. But definitely this is a relatable video.
It is. And I like in this video, like I think the girl that he's walking with, like parallel, is like a reflection of him, a mirror image. And I love the fact that he sometimes refers to an androgynous self. Like he tries to blur the lines between gender and all that kind of thing in a lot of some of his MVs and some of the things that he does, or his fashion. And I like that here. It's like showing that no matter who you are, what your gender, where you're from, blah, 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 calling an RM, but like you all have the same issues, the same, things that you go through as well. That's just my take on this bit, but I know some people interpret it different ways, but that's kind of what I pull from it as well.
We'll see how I interpret it then.
겨울 속에 비친 나이 헤엄없이 미쳐가 I'm feeling so unlike wasting time I'd rather be lost in the light
I wonder if his t-shirt is a reference or if it's just unrelated fashion. He's wearing a t-shirt with Stockholm on it, and it made me think that Stockholm syndrome when you fall in love with a person that is like really bad to you. Do you know what thing I'm talking about? And this kid, I'm getting the vibes in this video that he's talking about being in love with a toxic person. So I wonder if it was on purpose or if it's unrelated.
It could be. It could be. It's interesting. Like, I think like the clothes that he chooses are very intentional. I think his pants as well is done by a really well-known designer that does like, I don't know, I'm not sure over the exact designer, but yeah, his clothes are very intentional in this for sure. But that feeling when you're in the bathrooms in the club and you're just like feeling completely alone and you just don't feel like yourself at all, but you're like, you just want to, you know what I mean? You just want to isolate yourself, and that's
And
kind
it's
of the vibe.
exasperated by the fact you've just spent all night getting smashed. Don't do alcohol, kids. It doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you feel worse. Been there, done that.
Lost in the light I'm out of my mind 이 밤이 빛을 잡아줘 매밤 You spin me up high 너를 품은 die Let me have a taste Give me a good ride Always gonna be a good night Forever you This is gonna break me This is gonna break me No, don't you break me I wanna stay in this dream Don't save me Don't you try to save me I need a way I need a way
He's such a beautiful man.
He
Like,
is.
aesthetically.
This song reminds me so much of a conversation I had with one of my closest friends when she was going through a really hard time. And this song like captures the essence of every part of that. She was going out drinking, being wild, just never wanting the night's end because while she was out having a good time, she could forget that she was going through such a hard time. So very much the not wanting to wake up, hold on to this night. All those lyrics speak really like strongly to how she was feeling. Then at the end of the night when everybody goes home and she's left alone and she's like, it always made her worse, but she then would do it all over again the next night. This song very much speaks strongly of that feeling, that looking for something to make yourself feel better, trying to cling on to it, even though you know it's bad for you, even though you know you're going to wake up tomorrow feeling worse.
Exactly.
And you're going to do it all over again to try and reach that same high. That definitely speaks in this song.
And I think also humans do it in so many different ways. You know, some people do shopping therapy, other people eat food in the middle of the night, raid the fridge. But like, I think you find ways to cope with your inner demons a lot of the time. And like, you either go out and party or you buy stuff that you shouldn't be buying, or you just find you develop these habits that you have to comfort yourself. So self-soothing kind of stuff.
I was definitely a Jimin. I was a wild child party girl. Every time I was down, I was like, new heels and new lipstick and nearest nightclub. Come on, girls. I wasn't so much interested in dudes. It was all about the going out party and dancing and getting drunk. And I didn't like care if there was guys in the club as long as we had a dance floor and a bar. And music all night, I was fine.
Yeah, you go out with your girlfriends, and that's usually your like you unspoken message to the dude: stay away. We're here to party and just dance and just enjoy ourselves. So
the dude is the reason I'm here. Stay the hell away from me.
I was never a big clubbing girl, although I did a fair amount. You know, like I wasn't like a huge clubbing girl. My sister was though. My sister would love it. She would try. You know, it was in that phase. She would be out and about whenever she could. My poor parents. So
see, I 100% blame my stint of clubbing because of the girl band, because we lived that going on stage, rehearsing, singing, that full pack, the girls all together. It was all about
Yeah.
up and going out and dancing and singing, and then that just stopped. It was like I replaced that experience or that need with nightclubs, and I was
Yeah.
out constantly with my friends. I was constantly like, I'm the girl that would get up on the table and dance. I'm the girl, if there was a karaoke, I would get up on the table and sing the karaoke. If there was a
Yeah.
pole, I would get up and dance on the pole. And it wasn't about being wild, it was just like that craving that I'd lost,
Yeah.
that entertaining. Like, you know what I mean? Getting up on
Mm.
stage and singing. I blame that for the reason I went so wild in my 20s, because I was wild.
Well, I think in a way, this probably is something that Jimin went through as well, because he was with his band every day doing stuff, concerts, busy, busy. And then the pandemic hit. And then to replace that, was like, oh, like, I wish I could just be out there partying and being in the
Yeah,
club and
it's like
stuff.
a sense of, yeah, I can totally relate. See,
It's like a
my
replacement.
rising is Libra, so there's a part of me that is very Jimin-like. And
Yeah.
going from being full on, doing these things, being preoccupied, dancing, singing, being an entertainer, being in the limelight, to then suddenly you're just a regular person that's got nothing to do. It's really hard to like adjust your mental state to that. And even
Yeah.
to this day, I'm still a little bit of a, if there's a party, I will get up in a bunch of strangers and dance in the dance floor by myself and not give a crap. It's still
Yeah.
in me, that entertaining side. And
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to let go of. It's a hard thing when you're somebody, especially if that's your whole life, and then the pandemic made it go boom, straight to
Yeah.
a stop. It's
Yeah.
no wonder he was like burying himself in drinking and looking for other ways to try and deal with it, because that's exactly
Yeah.
what I did.
Yeah. Totally.
See, Jimin, me and you, bud, parallel. If only I was
Little
as pretty
breakdown.
as you.
Dream on.
Alone again.
Mud on his shoes.
What's the point?
And his hands.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that song definitely speaks to me on that level. I think a nightclub is the closest thing you'll ever get to that is a similar experience to being on a big stage with lights and smoke and music and the crowds. Like, it's the closest thing to it. So it's not a shock to me that a lot of people, when they're no longer in the entertainment business, go through a stint of being wild and reckless and always in nightclubs.
Yeah. And I think for that, it's the same thing there. He's like showing a adjustment in his worldview, a change in his lifestyle. Obviously it was temporary because it was the pandemic. It still like impacts us in lots of ways because people are like, oh, the pandemic's over. No, Lean's a good example of why the pandemic is not over.
Yes, and
The
I
COVID
caught
queen.
COVID in my own home, may I add.
Yeah. She had a friend, her daughter's friend slept over and
Yeah, she didn't tell us that she had been sick for a few days. When she came here, she seemed fine. And then after she'd been here for 2 days, my daughter said, oh, she's been really sick, by the way. She just told me that she was been sick. And then guess who got COVID? Wah, wah, wah. I hadn't even left the freaking house. I tell you one thing about that video, that fade out scene there, I think we can all relate to that feeling too, of when you've
Yeah.
been out trying to make yourself feel better, you've reached that high, and then you come back and there's no more nightclub, there's no more booze, there's no more party, it's the end of the night, you come home and it all drains away and you're like, what's the point? Like that feeling of down, like I'm back to being sad again. Like
Yeah.
that end scene there, that fade out, I just felt for wee Jimin, because I've been there, dude, been there. I'm glad he's not in that phase anymore, though.
Yeah, he seems really happy. They all do at the moment, aside from the military stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, before I'm talking now, they've just seemed like they needed that break and they all could work on their own solo stuff, which helped them like confidence wise, but then also they also got time to spend to travel or be with their friends a bit. So I really like that they've had this time to do solo projects and just concentrate on building themselves back up, because I think it was also that around that time, was it V that said he was also going through a hard time? I think just before that, like, I think that like they each had their moment between 2018 to 2022 where they all felt some sort of burnout, and it affected them all in different ways, you know. So yeah, I kind of like do feel for him a bit in this. You can feel that, like, and you can feel that like a dichotomy of being lonely but also seeking out comfort in others, you know, that tuggy feeling. So I like that
I
song a
like
lot.
it. I like the MV. I like the lyrics. I like the song. And Jimin, I've always liked the way Jimin sings. He's got a very unique voice and he's a very good singer. I like him. I like
He
that
does
song.
really well in this. Yeah, it's a nice song to play as well, just in any, like, this song fits with so many different like situations. You can play it a lot in your house, you can play it like in your car, you can play it on a road trip, you can play it when you're getting ready to go out somewhere. It's like a really good song. It's just got that like little bit of an 80s kick to it, which I love. So
Because I'm back on the writing train, obviously everything we listen to is always going through my book playlist. And I think this one actually fits pretty perfectly with one of the projects that I've got set up for the near future. I think I might actually put it there. It just seems to go with the entire tone of the story that I've got set for that book.
yeah.
And I think that would be a really good song for that playlist. For those of you that know who I am and are one of my fans and came here because I made you, which yeah, there is a future book, and I know you love the playlist and you all listen to the playlist while reading the book. So yeah, there's maybe a Jimin song on the playlist.
Nice.
Nice.
Alrighty,
Okay.
well, that was like crazy.
I like that
Yay.
one. I like it. It definitely gave me a different insight to Jimin a wee bit. Like, I feel like his solo stuff, I like Jimin's solo stuff. I feel like he's the kind of artist that he gives you the feels. Like, he's relatable, and he goes more down the whole suffering with mental health and darkness and suffering with inner demons path more so than like Suga does.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
He does.
I do.
He does it in a gentle way. He's always been very expressive.
Yeah. It's a very emotive, sort of like soft way of doing it. Suga's a bit more direct in his music and is a bit more clever, and like you really have to think about Suga's lyrics sometimes and to really connect the dots because he's really clever. Whereas Jimin's is a bit more simplified and direct and easier to get the feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like them both, but I definitely like this. That's going on my playlist for a book. So
Yay. I love it. I listen to it regularly. I love his new album. We'll continue exploring it.
okay,
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jimin.
Yeah, that was Jimin. And we will catch you in the next video.
Annyeong. Bye.
Annyeong.